So, unless you've been living under a rock for all these years, you've probably heard of CBD. It's quickly becoming one of the most prominent and most popular supplements on the market we have today, and along with that, has a bunch of health claims, right? That CBD does. It claims to do so many things, and of course, with anything, right? With these claims, there will inevitably be people who come out to dispute or to challenge said claims. And so today I just want to talk a bit more about CBD and kind of explain why these claims are indeed true and just how exactly CBD affects our bodies, right? And of course, to understand this, we need like a basic information about our the human physiology, right? And of course, this is a very complex subject, but for the relevancy of our subject, we could explain it in much, much simpler terms. So essentially, the key to maintaining proper health is balance. It's something that we call homeostasis, right? Achieving homeostasis. And that's how we, are healthy. That's how we become devoid of any sickness. I guess in more holistic terms, it's essentially balancing your yin and your yang, right? For example, if the inflammation and anti-inflammation properties within your immune system are balanced, you're healthy, right? But too much of either one puts the system out of whack and therefore creates sickness. So the reason why a lot of pharmaceutical drugs tend to induce a lot of side effects or other symptoms is because these drugs, they only focus on the level of the symptoms and not the systems itself. And by systems, I mean, for example, like your immune system or your digestive system, endocrine system, etc. Right? And so basically, the analogy I like to use is essentially, the system is like a tree, and then, the symptoms or whatever are the leaves, right? And so with the pharmaceutical drugs, what they tend to do is they focus on the leaves, right? So, you got nice looking green leaves or, blossoming flowers or whatever, but the tree itself, that inherent problem has not been addressed, right? CBD, on the other hand, focuses on the level of the system. So essentially, what CBD does is, it focuses on making the tree healthy, if we were to go back to our analogy, right? And so guess what happens to the leaves as a result of the tree being healthy? Well, now the leaves are healthy too, because you've taken care of the tree, right? So I guess essentially CBD helps produce more signaling molecules that reduce inflammation, which help you restore homeostasis. Also, in order to understand why CBD is so effective, it's actually because our bodies have specific receptors for CBD. These receptors belong to what's called the endocannabinoid system, or ECS for short, if you will, right? And the receptors, that are affected are the CB1 and CB2 receptors. What's amazing is that the endocannabinoid system is actually the most prevalent systems in our body, right? The most prominent system. And of course, although CBD does not directly bind to your CB1 and CB2 receptors like THC does, it does affect it. In terms of how it does, well, I'll talk about that in future videos, so definitely stay tuned for that. But essentially, our bodies naturally produce cannabinoids in what's called anandamides and 2-AG. And so to summarize this point, CBD is very effective because of our endocannabinoid system, right, which is directly affected by CBD, and it just happens to be the most prominent system that exists within our bodies. Now I just want to backtrack just a little bit and get back to inflammation. So, you see CBD is also extremely effective because we are constantly inflamed because of our environment and because of the foods that we eat. Environmental toxins such as herbicides, insecticides, and heavy metals can be found in excess, right, in our environments, especially in cities. In terms of our foods, you look at things like additives, preservatives, etc., and that also greatly induces inflammation, as you can guess, right? And so what's interesting is that many of these, toxins actually did not exist 100 to 150 years ago, so they're becoming increasingly prevalent now. In other words, we are more inflamed than we were 100 to 150 years ago. And that's why, when we take CBD, when we take advantage of its anti-inflammatory properties, we see such a drastic effect because our bodies are already quite inflamed. So anything that helps alleviate that, it's going to be a huge welcome to our body. And so we definitely see the results, and that's why they're very tangible as well. Anyways, that's all the time I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. And if you don't mind, I'm about to go get some CBD now. Anyways, thank you so much. Catch you later.